Good afternoon. This is Lindsay. It is June 10th, 2025, Tuesday evening, almost 7 o'clock, 6:47. So I want to do a continuation of just an audio recording. So, I went to by the way, one thing that they do hit you with as a targeted individual is this fucking voice to skull shit, because I can assure you that a lot of the thoughts that I have and a lot of words that come out of my mouth are not my own. And that is one thing that these people do that is so vindictive and evil, is they have access to this technology called V2K, otherwise voice to skull technology, which means that they well, just look up that. There's a patent for that as well. It's called V2K. This is something that they attack targeted individuals with, this kind of technology to keep you like it's really weird. It's so fucked up because first of all, they surveil you illegally, right? And so they know everything you're doing when you're in the so-called privacy of your own home. They're surveilling you. They're keeping constant tabs on you everything you do. So you feel overwhelmed and anxious and angry because you feel violated. Your privacy is being violated, and you don't. I can't think of anybody. Why in the world would anybody want to be watched via 24/7 via some kind of a fucking hidden camera, or even a regular camera in their own home? I don't understand that. I don't know why. Like, for example, I don't understand why anybody would want to do a reality TV show. I don't understand why anybody would want to document everything. Like, how some people... No, I get it when you're documenting things for legal purposes, like as a targeted individual, keeping tabs and making videos about, talking about it like a diary, kind of like a journal. Yeah, that's different. But people who, for example, who need to document every little thing, that, like, I'm going here to eat, and this is what I'm eating, and taking a picture of it and putting it on their Instagram or Facebook, or every little thing they do, every person they're with, they have to make sure that goes on their social media. And the reason people do that, I don't know, except that they're looking for, well, obviously they're looking for attention and validation, because they get likes of their photo or whatever. Yeah, fine. But you know what? I just am grateful that in my era, when I was a teenager and a young adult, like in my 20s and 30s, there was no Facebook, there was no Instagram, and none of that stuff. No cell phones. Nobody. That was not the way I would interact with people. Is by... it was just different. It's just different generation. And I can relate to people who are younger than myself, like maybe in their, it's not that I cannot, but some of these kids now, the younger generations, are so arrogant because they have such easy access to all this technology that most of us did not have. So obviously it's just completely different. So it's almost like, inevitably, you're not going to get... It's kind of hard for somebody my age to really, I can be friends with people who are a lot younger than myself sometimes, and acquaintances, just acquaintances on a friendly level. But as far as anything really manifesting on a intimate romantic level that's going to last, I don't think so. I'm dubious as to think that anything like that would ever manifest, simply for the fact that it's just such a generation gap, a gap in the age. And I prefer... I'm on a fucking dating site just because I find it interesting to talk to people and may possibly meet people, but I certainly have no expectations. And maybe I'll meet somebody, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll meet somebody, I don't know, and I just don't really care. I do and I don't, but I've also accepted that I'm going to be single the rest of my life. I'm going to be alone, because once you're at a certain age, above age 30, It's really difficult to meet anybody who you actually really can get along with, and for me, it's more than just intimacy. I mean, for men, I know that the main thing they're looking for is sexual attraction, and if the woman is going to be a sex slave or provide for them those things that he demands or needs, and then they call he in his mind that's a relationship as long as she's putting out at his demand anytime and anywhere he wants it, even if she's not in the mood. And then he starts criticizing the way her body looks or what she eat, and then it becomes a power trip controlling thing, and it gets abusive. It can be. And so it's like a trap. It's like a prison. And when a man is only doing that, or a woman can be doing the same thing to a man, where basically y'all are both just using each other for intimacy, or whatever you do that's intimate. It's very transactional, and it's very much a soul draining, soul sucking type relationship that's not really based on it, unless you really know that person and have taken the time to get to know them on a friendship level first, which most people don't want to do. They want to rush into a relationship first, in the whole sex thing after a one date or whatever, or one encounter. They're already ready to get in bed or whatever. And see, that's what they do, is they want to test. The men nowadays, I guess what it is like they want to hurry up and do that and see if because they want to make sure that you have what they want in that arena, and they're going to judge you accordingly. And if you pass that test, then they're going to start considering you for girlfriend or boyfriend material. But here's the thing, is that they already are going to see you as being somebody who's easy, somebody who's very, like when a woman does that too quickly, it makes her look like a tramp, like a slut, like a whore, okay? And it's just, she's too easy. If she gives out too easily like that on a first date or whatever, it's a little bit kind of like she's already sending the message that she's just like easily available, and she doesn't have any respect for herself. I don't care how much you two like each other, how much attraction there is, because that's going to fade anyway in time. Y'all, if you jump into things too quickly with a person just because they're attractive, and just because y'all have something in common, or because y'all got drunk or whatever and decided to do that, then you're just asking for, it's gonna, down the line, it's not, in my opinion, those kinds of relationships where it was based on y'all got drunk, y'all got stoned or whatever, y'all are both high on drugs or alcohol or something, and y'all jumped into the sack too quickly after only one encounter or whatever. I don't think those really last. I don't think those kinds of, and especially those don't last very long. Those relationships kind of fade out quickly, I think, in my opinion. I think that they're not of God. They're not, and if you want something to last, it has to be of God. It really does. I mean, that sounds silly and cliche, but it must be a God. It must be sent from God. It must be sent from a good vibration. Otherwise, a soul level, because if you're doing things like that and expecting there to be some kind of reciprocity or good respect or anything, no, it's already going to be infested with bad energy. And then, and what people don't realize, or what they fail to realize, is there's always consequences for what you do. There's always going to be consequences. And what I have noticed, yes, I've made many mistakes in the past. I do know that. I've made mistakes and gotten intimate with people too quickly because they pressure you or whatever. I've done that in the past, but that's a past. Everybody does things in their past that you might regret. But one thing about soul connection, soul ties, is that something that you, until you break that soul tie contract with somebody, whether you like it or not, whenever you let somebody in your house, whenever they've been in your space, your head space, your soul, they know you, you've been intimate with them, that's already a soul ties that's already created a soul tie, whether you like it or not. And so once you have to get rid of that. If you no longer with that person, they discarded you, you discarded them, y'all ended it. Whatever happened, whatever kind of situation that was you were in, or that it was, it's over and it's over, and it happened. It's over for a reason. And I would say, don't go back. Don't go back to somebody just because they want to be back with you, or no, I would say don't do it. Once you know who they are, once they lied and cheated and did all these things, it's really pointless to keep going back and repeating the same mistake, except expecting that there's going to be a different outcome. Because it's not going to be a different outcome. Because once they reveal to you who they are, if they've cheated and lied, if they've lied to you, number one, that's disrespectful. If they're lying to you to your face about things that you know that they did, and then they're gaslighting you to make you doubt your own reality and your intuition, then fuck that. They don't respect you, and they know that what they did is wrong. They know they fucked you over and lied to you and took advantage of your vulnerability. No. Get away from those kinds of people, because those people are demon possessed, in my opinion. They're opportunist. They don't care about forming a real friendship or connection. It's all about the flesh, the desires of the flesh, lust. And those kinds of people don't really form real connections with people. They come and they come and go. They go through relationships like a transaction, like nothing matters to them. They don't care. They're always looking for adventure, something to satisfy their ego or their desires, their sexual appetite, or whatever. They get bored easily. They want you to entertain them all the time. They're always going to be comparing you to other women and sizing you up, and then trying to triangulate you or get you jealous and put you to these stupid little tests. This is what immature, insecure men do, or women too. That's people who are insecure do that kind of shit. They have to always bring up their exes. They have to talk about, drag you into their fucking drama with their exes or their ex-husband or ex-wife or their kids. And quite frankly, that's why I don't want to get involved with a man who's been married multiple times or divorced multiple times with kids, young kids. I mean, it's maybe if the kids are adults or something, or, but young children, no, I will not get involved with a man personally. I just don't. I avoid that. I will not get myself entangled in a mess where the man is single or separated because somebody cheated or whatever. He cheated on her, she cheated on him, and there's young kids involved in that separation or even divorce. I just don't want to go. I mean, because I don't have kids. It's better that these people, there's someone out there for them, but most likely that person is going to need to be somebody who's also single with kids, young kids, and I'm not in that category. I chose to not have kids, and I don't want kids, and I quite frankly am not going to play stepmother or mommy to somebody else's kids. And I, they've got their own mother, and I don't want to get in the middle of all that fucking drama, because that's all it is drama. It is. I won't go there. I will not go there. I've done that before, and it ends up being a disaster. Because the ex-wife is always going to be interfering and getting jealous and preventing him from, it's a fucked up thing. And no, I won't do that. No, I've already been in some relationships like that, and it turned out to be a fucking disaster because of the ex-girlfriend or ex-wife jealous, and he couldn't get out. No. They're never over their ex. When a man has children with a woman or vice versa, usually that person, that soul tie cannot be broken. When you have children with somebody, that's a serious thing. You can't just have kids, get divorced, because you're bored or you're no longer attracted to them, your wife or husband, because she got fat or she's this or that or he got too, bullshit. Then fucking do something about it, But that's silly to get a divorce for fucking superficial things like that, or cheat on your spouse because you're no longer attracted to the woman. I mean, if you're gonna fucking do that, then don't get married in the first place, or at least be honest about your fucking infidelity, which most people are never gonna do. But see how many people cheat? You can't trust anybody. So in my opinion, stay single, don't get married. And me, thank God I'm not married. Thank God I'm single, and thank God I don't have kids. Call me selfish, call me self-absorbed, but I don't give a fuck what people think. That's my choice. People love to shame women who are single by choice with no kids. societal abuse of women who don't. There's a lot of abuse, psychological, emotional abuse towards women who are childless. Well, I've got my fucking reasons, and I'm okay. I'm proud of it, and I'm proud of who I am. I don't give a fuck. I never, ever had the desire to have kids. I can't remember ever wanting to have a child or a baby. I just never did. So I guess there's something fucked up about me. I'm a psychopath. I'm this, I'm that. I'm narcissistic. I'm selfish because I don't want kids. Yeah, then fucking go ahead and put me in that category, because I guess that's what I am. According to the fucking DSM or whatever, I'm just a self-absorbed, narcissistic bitch who's this, that, and the other because she doesn't have kids and she's single. Okay, fine. I don't really give a fuck what society wants to label me as. Go right the fuck ahead, but from my fucking childhood and what I went through, growing up with all that trauma and confusion that I had to endure and not even knowing who the fuck my biological father is, or let alone, you think I want to drag a kid into that fucked up mess and add to the goddamn lineage of confusion? No, I broke that fucking, I broke that goddamn generational curse. I broke it by not having any goddamn, pardon my language, by not having any kids. I had to break the fucking curse, because those kids would have been cursed anyway. Well, if I would have had a kid out of adultery, now I would, if I were married, it's different when you're married and you have a child out of marriage. That's different. But you people who go around fucking having kids out of wedlock or adultery or infidelity or that's kind of fucked up. That's a little bit, I'm sorry, but okay, if that's your thing, go for it, have fun, play the fucking field, get as many women pregnant as you want, or fornicate all fucking day and night with so-and-so and such all over the globe. I don't give a shit, but I have enough respect for myself and enough goddamn responsibility for my own self, and I have never, I would never be that irresponsible to get pregnant by somebody on accident and get a fucking abortion then. I would do the goddamn responsible thing, getting a fucking abortion, and you can shame me all the fuck you want, but I'm glad that I did. And I'm sure that the man I was with is glad that I did too. So there, I was way too young. It happened on accident. The fucking birth control pills didn't work for whatever reason, and I got pregnant, and I got a goddamn abortion, and I'm happy about it. I don't feel guilty in the least bit. Not in the least bit. I couldn't fucking care less, as a matter of fact. And I'm glad that I did it, and now at my age, I can't have any I can't get pregnant. I'm already not even, I don't think, and thank God I can't, because I don't want kids. I never wanted any. And I don't. And you people that have them, that's your responsibility for life. You've got a kid. I don't care if your kid is 60 years old. You still have a fucking kid. You have to look after that child. You're the one who had the kid or adopted the kid. That's your responsibility. Some of you negligent fucking parents who are labeling me. No, look at you. Why don't you fucking take a look at yourselves, please? Instead of always labeling the scapegoat because I'm different. Some of you have absolutely no room to talk. None whatsoever. With that being said, I excuse me for my ranting. I go off on tangents because, it doesn't matter what I do. It's never going to be good enough. It's good enough for me, but it's not ever going to be good enough for anyone else. So what's the fucking point in wasting energy and time into somebody who doesn't fucking respect you or like you for who you are? Oh, for a one-night stand that you might get a fucking STD for, or, is that really worth it? Because most of these men they don't want to wear a condom, or they bitch or they're impotent, or there's some fucked up shit, or if you don't look like a goddamn prostitute or behave like a fucking prostitute or what do they call? What are those women called? Porno actors. If you don't act like that in the bed, then forget it. They lose interest. If you can't perform, then what's the fucking point? I just prefer remain celibate for the rest of my life. And I'm okay with it. Now I'm okay, because after wasting time putting energy into somebody that never fucking reciprocated, was lying to me, cheating on me, stringing me along in a fake fucking relationship, and it's happened to me too many times to the point where, whatever. Okay, if I meet somebody, I do, but I certainly am not going to rush into anything at all. I will take my time and get to know that person and get to know every fucking thing about that person before I even dare let them in my house or even let alone sleep with them. Fuck no, I will not do that. Because I respect myself. And if I do, I'm not going to ever repeat the same mistakes that I've made by being pressured by people too quickly. No. No. No, I won't do that. But, what else was I going to say? When I went out to do some errands this afternoon, I went for a little bit of a walk in the burning fucking hot sun. I don't know how. I know there's people who work outside for a living, like construct. I respect these people, but I'm sorry, I can't do that. I can't stay out in the fucking hot sun for more than an hour. It's just too goddamn intense and hot. And with my fair skin and kind of fair, I get sick. Physically sick, so I can handle little bits and pieces of the sun every day, but not all goddamn day in the fucking. It's just too much, and but yeah, I do like to. I go out, every day in the sun for a little bit, for sure, because the sun is good for you, but not overdoing it. And when I went to the Dollar Tree. On the one that I go to different ones, but the one that I go to a lot is over there on the New Braunfels and Fair Avenue, whatever, that area. And of course, that place has surveillance cameras right in the fucking candy aisle. So these people love to tease me and harass me because I eat sweets sometimes. I like to eat little candies and whatnot. And so they pick on me about that. Anything and everything they can fucking try to find to try to make fun of you, a person. Find everything. This is what they do to try to fucking humiliate you or insult you or things like that. So they know that what you like, what you don't like, and all your little habits and patterns and things. So they use that to exploit you. I'm talking about narcissistic people here, whatever, corporations and all the fucking surveillance so that they can pin behavior modification shit or behavior whatever the fuck it is they do with that goddamn stupid surveillance technology, the NSA or Fusion Center shit. So I went when I was in the line checking out or purchasing the items in the checkout counter. The woman, I recognize that lady. She's probably some kind of fucking undercover cop or some government. I can tell by her behavior. She seems like somebody who's an agent of some kind of definitely an informant. Because as soon as I was my turn, I noticed she had a couple of stars on her neck that I had not noticed before. But she had 2 5-pointed stars on her neck. Now, the 5-pointed star is nothing bad. It's not bad. It's not a bad symbol. People think that means Satanism. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It depends on depending on how the star is pointed. If the star is pointed upward, it depends on a lot. It depends. If it's pointing straight up, it's there's a different. I forget, but basically, there's a difference between a satanic symbol and one that's just a star. Like for example, look at the Dallas Cow, the logo for the fucking Dallas Cow. Texas Lone Star point. That's not satanic symbol. That is not a satanic symbol. Okay, so it depends. Like I said, it depends on. Okay, for example, the Lone Star. It's pointing it's pointing straight up. The pentacle. The 5-point, it's straight up, right? Now with the satanic star or whatever the pentacle, it's different. It's the way it's shaped. Well, no. Yeah, the satanic. Okay, because there's a pentacle that's also like for example, the Dallas Cowboys or Lone Star. That's going straight up. The triangle, whatever. That pentacle is going straight up. Now, there's nothing, that does not mean Satanism at all. It's not Satanism. It's also known as a pentagram or a pentacle. The pentacle has a circle around it. The pentagram is just 5-pointed star. Okay? There's a difference. Now, people who are satanic, who actually practice Satanism, supposedly that whenever you look at a satanic symbol, that's the pentacle is not going straight up. It's instead it's different. It's open like that when it's not, the star itself is, you get the idea, like to the right and left, it's open, right? That when it's pointed straight up, it's not the triangle straight up pointing north. There's that gap. So that's supposedly a satanic symbol. So pay attention to that. Don't go labeling somebody a Satanist because they have a star. You need to know what kind of fucking star it is before you start judging somebody, and you need to know the fucking difference, because that's happened to me over and over again, being labeled a Satanist when in fact it's just a fucking pentacle, which is a big difference. And it doesn't mean that you're a bad person if you practice white magic or anything. If you pray and light incense, it doesn't mean you're evil. It doesn't mean you're, but people get the wrong ideas about this kind of shit all the time because of their own fucking ignorance. And I get it all the time. I've been going through that my entire life, all that stupid fucking discrimination by people who are just ignorant. But it is what it is, and I'm okay with that, because I know how people are just not that fucking, some people are just not that smart. They're not very intelligent. But, so anyway, when I was at the line, back again to the Dollar Tree, so she has glasses on, and she's probably about my height, darker hair, brunette. I don't know if she's Hispanic or not. I don't know. She's kind of lighter skinned lady. And she was on her phone. As soon as I was in the line, she was on the phone doing something on her cell phone. And then there were people behind me. But what I noticed, and I always notice things, I'm very observant. I look around all the time at the products and changes in the store and things like this. And I noticed right there was a box of Luna bars, an empty box of chocolate dipped coconut Luna bars. Now I've been eating, here we go with the me fucking product. I love to talk about products, and I could be a product ambassador, I suppose. That would be a good way for me to make a living evaluating products. But I have been eating, I love those things. I like Luna bars. When I first started eating those, like about, I don't know, whenever, like 15 years, a long time ago, because they came out around the same time as a Cliff Bar. And Luna bars are really good. They have them in all different flavors. I tend to like the lemon ones. They're all really tasty, though. Quite honestly, they're all really good. I haven't tried every single one, but I like the lemon ones, and I like the chocolate. Well, I like all of them, the ones I've tried. The coconut ones, chocolate coconut dipped, are really good too. And so there's an empty box of those right there at the register, and I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, oh, so now, and I was like, and I looked at it, and I was like, is it empty? Is it full? The fucking thing was empty. And I'm like, when did they start carrying Luna bars at the Dollar Tree? And I'm thinking, okay, and then of course that triggers me to thinking about Melinda Luna, the Luna bars, Luna Rosa, all the Luna, such a common name in the past several years, or in my life. Luna, Moon, Luna. And then this Melinda Luna, who, at first I thought, this lady, there's something about her that I couldn't quite, this is the attorney ad litem that was appointed by that judge named Robert or whatever in Kerrville. There's something about her that I couldn't quite put my finger, it was like, wait a minute, I could tell that there's something from the way she behaved from the first time I met her that she did not like me. I was like, I can tell that this woman she doesn't like me. I could feel it, that she just didn't like me. And I tried so hard to, like, be nice to her and try to be her friend and help get help. And the whole time I think she was deceiving me. And that's just the gut feeling that I had, was that like this woman is doing something behind my back without my knowing, or she knows a lot more than she's telling me, or somebody's paying her to do something against me, or she knows there's something that I couldn't quite put my finger on, but I just knew something was off. You know, when you get those feelings around people that you don't know what it is, but they're really kind of cold towards you in a way that like they kind of deceive you, like they smile in your face but they stab you in the back kind of thing. And that's kind of the feeling I started to get from her. It's like, wait a minute, this woman is not somebody who really, I don't think she's at all I think there's something wrong here. And plus, since she was appointed by the judge, which that means that's biased. An attorney, if I would have had the chance to, if I would have really known what the fuck was going on and all these things that have been conspired against me for so long, I would have hired my own attorney to represent me, somebody who I felt comfortable with, who I felt is a good fighter, an outspoken person like me, somebody who is not passive aggressive. I would have found somebody myself, and I didn't get that fucking opportunity to find my own attorney to represent me in that case, which is not fair. But this is how fucked up the legal system is, and it is based on Canaanite legal system, which is Oriental despotism. Look this stuff up. If you don't believe me, start looking up, and I've learned this by reading The Curse of Canaan or listening to that. And there's a whole part about the justice system, the federal courts and everything. It's based on ancient Canaanite, Masonic stuff. And if you come in there in a fucking courtroom and start challenging these people with their antiquated, antediluvial ways, then you're going to get punished and you're going to get harassed and you're certainly going to get underrepresented. You cannot represent yourself at a pro se in a probate case. It's impossible. As much as people think that you can, whenever there's a lot of complications and money and a lineage involved and a name to protect and your money and property, no, you can't just fucking walk in there and act like you know everything, and you can be humble, and you can be you can have pride, and you can have knowledge by doing your research, which is I fucking did plenty of research about the probate courts and all this shit for a long time. I was doing my own work. I was doing a lot, and I was like, how the fuck is it that this is going on? How are these people able to deceive me so much when I see clearly what the fuck is going on? And how flawed the goddamn fucking court system is. Especially the probate courts. In Texas, in Kerrville, in these small towns, it's so fucked up. I had to fucking fight, and I'm still fighting because it's all fucked up. I'm trying to get a litigation attorney to help me fight, to get what I'm really entitled to, and to find out really what the fuck is going on with this. Melinda Luna, she might be a decent person in her own way, but I don't know that woman from a fucking hole in the ground. She's impossible to get to know. I tried to, she's not very open, she's very close, she was not very communicative with me, no matter how hard I tried, so that clearly indicates that she didn't like me. And she never did, and that's fine. I'm just saying it was all biased from the very beginning. Same with that Pamela King, whatever see, he got to fucking hire an attorney. Pamela Ray King, whatever, that Carter got to hire, so he of course got to fucking get his way. Because he did that a long time before I ever got a chance to hire anybody. It's not fair. It's not fair at all what they did to me and what I'm going through. They know that what they did was completely fucking illegal. That's why I keep on exposing this shit. Because people need to know how fucked up the fucking court system is in the United States. And I'm gonna fucking be an advocate for myself and maybe other people because I know what the fuck they do. I see how it's all Masonic shit. If you're not part of their Freemasonic organization or whatever, this is the way it really is. And you cannot represent yourself pro se in a fucking probate court. They will not let you do it. You get laughed at and mocked and insulted and humiliated and degraded and slandered. You can't do it. They won't. You cannot represent yourself pro se in such a case. It's impossible. You have to have a good legal team. It's essential. It's essential. And don't quit fucking fighting. A lot of you people give up. You think that, no, if you have something in your name, property, a bank account, in your fucking name, you fucking fight for that. No matter what the fuck they say, you fucking fight for it. God damn it. That's what I say. Fight, fight, fight. Don't let them fucking take what's yours. Because God is the authority. God sees everything, okay? That sounds silly, but that's a fucking truth. He sees everything. All the goddamn lies, the forged signatures, the bribery, the blackmailing. All that shit is not... And plus, with all the fucking surveillance everywhere, you think you dumb fucks can get away with that shit? You better fucking think again. You can't. Because the all-seeing eye sees everything. And you won't get away with it, and it will be exposed. So let that be a fucking message for those of you thinking you can get away with stealing somebody's name, their image, their inheritance, their livelihood, their legacy. No, you can't fucking do that, and I will not let it happen to me. And my name is Lindsay Hill Baldwin. I'm in San Antonio, Texas, and I'm a targeted individual, and I'm going to fucking fight these people until I get what the fuck I'm entitled